Welcome back to my channel. This is my monthly video where I cover everything I watched and read in a month. This January, I didn't watch that many movies or read that many books, so this might be shorter than the other videos. But with that said, let's get into it. Starting with movies. Poor Things, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. The direction of Yorgos Lanthimos has produced some of my favorite films in the last 10 years. This started with The Lobster, and I've liked each consecutive release more than the one before it. I love The Lobster's themes of relationships and societal expectations, the killing of a sacred deer's exploration of family dynamics, and the favorite's exploration of power in government and romance. With Poor Things, Lanthimos has reached a whole new level of direction and visual style. The movie doesn't really look like anything I've ever seen before. The intentionally unconventional use of CGI, the elaborate and colorful environments, and inspired work of the costume and makeup departments make this the most visually interesting film of last year, other than maybe Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I could talk all day about Emma Stone and Mark Ruffalo's performances, two of the best dramatic and comedic performances I've seen in a while. I also appreciated Willem Dafoe, who doesn't ever disappoint. It was an inspired choice to cast comedians for two of the least comedic roles in the film, those comedians being Rami Youssef and Gerard Carmichael. But yeah, this movie's basically perfect. I've already seen it 3 times and I can't wait to see it again. 10 out of 10. American Fiction, directed by Jefferson. I really enjoyed this movie. It was good to see such a nice balance of comedy, drama, and social satire in a single film. It also had some great performances, solid direction, and really smart writing. I don't have much more to say about it other than what a great ending, and I can't wait to see what Jefferson does next. 8 out of 10. Oldboy, directed by Park Chan-Wook. I finally checked out Park Chan-Wook's cult classic action thriller, and I really liked it. Visually, I loved this movie's style. There were so many shots and visuals that feel completely singular. I've never seen someone eat a live octopus before, and the performances were another highlight of the movie. Choi Min-sik and Kang Hae-jung were clear standouts. I also appreciate how insane the plot was, and how they revealed it to the audience over time. Like, I love the fact that they really went for it and pulled no punches with this ridiculous concept. The iconic hallway fight is just as good as I expected it to be. I can see all the reasons why this movie has remained popular and talked about. However, by the end, I felt a little less than I think I should have been feeling. I think throughout the movie, I felt less and less connected to the main character, but maybe that was the point. And I can't wait to rewatch this movie knowing how it all plays out. 7 out of 10. Ratatouille, directed by Brad Bird. This movie is so well written, and it would be a great script to study. It is such a well-paced story. The way it quickly develops the plot but never feels rushed. Like other Pixar films, it develops a very distinct and nuanced theme. Also, the overall look of the film is one of my favorites in the location and character designs. If somebody ever wanted to do a double feature of 2 films about the clash between passion and family, watching this alongside The Fabelmans would be fun. But yeah, I think this movie is pretty much perfect. The scene where Ego tastes the food is perfect. The writing of his review that he gives the restaurant is also perfect. And I don't really see myself getting tired of this one anytime soon. 10 out of 10. Ex Machina, directed by Alex Garland. This is one of the rare thrillers that gets more scary the older it gets. As we see the emergence and normalization of AI in society, it can be easy to forget about the quandaries this technology creates. While there have been depictions of technology rising against humanity in films like the Terminator series, Ex Machina is much more unsettling than any of those films. I love the use of metaphor in this movie. Garland, in communicating the allure of technologies like AI, makes the narrative about an AI getting a man to fall in love with it. This movie is beautifully shot as well. It has great acting, and its implications will stick with you long after the movie ends. 9 out of 10. Talk to Me, directed by Danny and Michael Philippou. I missed this one in theaters, but I've wanted to watch it ever since. To me, the highlight of this movie are the performances. In particular, Sophie Wilde is so good in this film. Even when her character is making bad decisions that make you want to yell at the screen, her emotional reasoning is always sound and the acting sells every moment of it. I also love the use of practical effects in this movie. I think horror movies that overuse CGI don't really scare me that much. However, this movie's second half was less scary than the first for me, which is an issue that a lot of horror movies have. To me, it's more scary the less you know, so it's hard to keep a movie scary as the characters and the audience learn more about the world and its rules. I also found myself a little bit less emotionally invested in the story and the main character as the movie went on. But overall, it was a great horror film. 7 out of 10. May December, directed by Todd Haynes. May December is a brilliant, well-shot, and superbly acted movie. The three main characters, played by Natalie Portman, Julianne Moore, and Charles Melton, each give such subtle performances in unique ways. I also loved the look of the film, in particular the amount of grain in the images and the outdoor scenes' framing of natural light. I also appreciated the overall pacing. I've yet to check out Todd Haynes' other work, but now I am very excited to explore his catalog. 9 out of 10. TV shows. Severance, directed by Dan Erickson. The only TV show I watched this month was Dan Erickson's Severance. And to start my review of it, I want to talk about a very niche passion of mine, which is title sequences. I'm kind of obsessed with title sequences. A good title sequence is the best, and the title sequence for Severance is one of the best I've seen in a while. And the show is just as good. I loved the minimalist production design. I also love how much this show gets out of its premise. Its exploration of the nature of employment, class disparity, workers' rights, and the nature of memory are all done very tastefully. And lastly, the performances are all great. 9 out of 10. Books. Don't Start a Side Hustle, written by Brian Page. I don't have much to say about this one. It's pretty interesting, but sometimes the book focuses too much on the author's success and too little on the ideas he's sharing. 5 out of 10. Slaughterhouse 5, written by Kurt Vonnegut. I have been reading this book for so long, but I finally resolved to finish it, and I'm so glad I did. This is my second Vonnegut book after loving Breakfast of Champions, which I made a video about. You should watch it. Vonnegut's writing always takes me a while to get through because each page offers a new brilliant point that I could sit and think about for hours. Like Breakfast of Champions, Slaughterhouse 5 has Vonnegut's particular brand of satire and comedy and has some of the funniest things I've ever seen written on a page. However, this comedy never takes away from the dark themes that the book is exploring and its damning look at war and post-traumatic stress disorder. This book's a 10 out of 10. I can't wait to read more Vonnegut, and that is all I watched and read this month. It wasn't much for me this month, but I was working on a lot of cool projects that I'm excited for you guys to check out. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot. And comment what you've been watching and reading. I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.